astrology, there are 4 elements. The elements are water, fire, earth, air. The element describes the temperament of the archetype. In this case, the water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Remember, you could have a earth or air sign as your sun sign, but if you have a lot of other planets in water, you could be water dominant. The 4th, 8th, and 12th houses are also water houses. So to get a grasp of the water element, I want us to really just think about the water substance itself. Water is the essence of life, the sea of fertility, the womb of the ocean mother from which all life emerged. Consider the range and transformative properties of water. Clouds, rainfall, gentle streams, noisy waterfalls, the stillness of a frozen lake, a river, the oceans, waves. Water signs are known to be emotional. Water is all about our ability to change, to flow, and to overcome obstacles by eroding them away or sweeping them away like a tsunami. Water is cool, stable, moist, cloudy, soft. Water signs are known to be sensitive. They feel more than the other signs. Keyword feel. I want to begin also by saying that water is one of the elements that is the most neglected in our society. The water signs are yin energies. Earth and water are yin passive polarities. Missing water can lack compassion. I want us to steer away from the stigma of being emotional. The water signs rule over the emotional body. The emotional body wants nothing more than to relax, be calm, think meditation. The sensitivity is related to how water can merge with all the other elements. If you think about the interaction water has with all the other elements, with fire, it turns into steaming gas. When it runs into earth, it slows down. Water with air can stir up a hurricane, which is why they'll feel inclined to want company around, to feel connection, more so partnership. But similar to introverts, they need their private time to recharge since they're soaking in and merging and blending in with all these other signs and elements, energies. Water signs are very intuitive, which is why you'll see people with psychic abilities to have very prominent water in their charts a lot of times. Water is instinctual. It can sense things accurately, vibrationally aware. It has control over the emotional body, so it can tap into spiritual powers through stillness. At worst, they can be paranoid and scared of people's intentions. Crabs protect their shell. Scorpios stay alert and don't trust right away. And Pisces can be slippery and not disclose everything right away. Being so receptive, they can imagine scenarios or simply scare themselves out of their minds just sitting in their room. Another reason why company can be important to them, because it really gets them out of their emotions that might not always be 100%. Staying home, putting on some music, snuggling with a good movie, that peaceful ambience is what they want at the end of the day. The downside to being too emotional can be being reclusive and psychologically scarred, because water signs can resist letting go of the past. The upside is water signs can be these creative geniuses. Think Albert Einstein, who was a Pisces. You'd think science would be more connected to an air sign, but he's a clear example of imagination as a magical tool, listening to our own selves. Water signs have a easier time communicating through other outlets, different outlets like poetry, music, art, not necessarily what we relate to logical work. For example, having someone with their Mercury in a water sign can make someone that doesn't talk very easily, not the best at expressing and collecting their thoughts or forming the best sentences right away. A lot of times water signs need to process a conversation. They're probably the ones looking back at a lot of conversations thinking they probably didn't express what they wanted to say the best way and being regretful of that. But water signs with other water signs can just look at each other and know. They have that sort of telepathic communication. We have to remember that another major factor in human communication is body language. That 55% of our communication is through nonverbal elements. Think facial expressions, gestures. Remember, still waters run deep. The water part of us is not motivated by outer rewards such as fame or material success. Rather, it's moved by deeply personal values that fulfill your soul. Without paying attention to your internal desires and motivations, you may end up with a lot of outer success, but still feel empty inside. That goes the same with superficial relationships. Water signs will have a hard time committing if they don't feel that connection. This can cause emotional turmoil. Too much air or fire dries up water, overanalyzing your feelings, or avoiding them through a hyperactive lifestyle that doesn't nourish the water inside us. When you don't deal with your emotions, you can become passive aggressive or develop mental illnesses like being bipolar. But a lot of that can be traced back to wounds from the past or emotional upbringing situations that you never really dealt with. Water signs should develop emotional self-reliance so that they don't try to find emotional security in exterior things. And when going through those ups and downs, they have that equilibrium within them. According to ancient Chinese, water is the most powerful element, for it can flow around any obstacle in its path without changing essence. Like the Grimes song, Neanderthal to Human Being, I believe us humans only know how to use a percentage of our brain, or at least only access certain senses at a certain time. For example, if you think about other animals having a stronger sense of smell, I think in the future in a multi-dimensional 5D world, these are just my ideas. But also when we learn to work with nature as part of an ecosystem, when we're able to know where our strengths are based on our natal charts, we will be able to tap into more powers, if you want to call them that. For example, there's people today with psychic abilities or talented athletic people whom a lot of times will have like their Mars in Aries, giving them these quick, powerful reflexes. So if they had superpowers, it would be psionic manipulation, such as empathy, telepathy, telekinesis, shape-shifting. Alchemy is a big one. Divination and enchantments. Each of the 4 elements presents a cardinal expression, a fixed expression, and a mutable expression. These are called the modalities. 4 elements times 3 equals 12. 12 distinct energy fields. Cancer is cardinal, water. Scorpio is fixed water. And Pisces is mutable water. Each water sign serves a special purpose in the evolution of the water qualities. Cancer develops our ability to nurture and care for others. Scorpio develops our ability to share and be intimate with partners. And Pisces develops our compassion and love for the broader family of humankind. but I will be making separate videos for each of the water signs. Stay tuned and hope you enjoyed the video and learned something new. Thanks.